check validation email and password exercise. If we didn't insert the email and the password and just log in, please enter your email and password. But if we just inserted the email, for example like this, please enter your password. And the same thing if we just insert the password and remove the email, the message will be please insert your email. But if we insert the password and the email, but the email will be not in the right form, like this, anything, invalid email. So the email should be in this form. To check, you has been logged in successfully. So we have three cases. If the password and email haven't inserted, if one of them hasn't inserted, if the email inserted wrongly. So the idea of the whole exercise, get the value of the password and email, check that both of them have been inserted, check if the email is in the right form. So try to figure it out, then go to the main video. Like what we have seen, the HTML structure for this exercise, just three elements: email input, password input, and finally a button to submit the result. So let me get started. In this exercise, I use Bootstrap to make the layout for the whole exercise responsive. So if you aren't familiar with Bootstrap, feel free to skip this video and build it using HTML and CSS. So now I will show you how you can set Bootstrap up in your page. So just go to bootstrap.com, and here is the home page and documentation. Then you have to copy this external CSS link. So just copy this link and paste it here within head tag. And also the JavaScript links. So now we are ready to use Bootstrap. But let me just explain briefly what is Bootstrap. Bootstrap can add styles for HTML elements just using classes, and you will see this. So let's start by creating the email input. But before we create the email input, I want to make the divisions for the invalid password and for the valid password. So here is the division, and I will give it a class equal to alert, and this is a Bootstrap built-in class. It just make the division responsive and also can add color for it. Then let me add a color for it. So alert, and then the color success, which is a type of colors in Bootstrap. And then the width, I will make it 50%, and let me make margin Udo, so it will be in the center of the page. And then let me give it an ID equal to correct. So this division will be for the valid password, or let me call it valid. And then let me close this division. Let me make another division for the invalid password and email. So here Just I will change the color from success to be danger, and the ID will be invalid. So let me save and see. So here is the two alerts. Of course, you can do something like this using CSS, but I think in Bootstrap it's easy and responsive. And at the end, I will show you how you can get those classes from bootstrap.com. Then let me make a container for the two inputs. So div and has a class equal to container. So this class will make the div in the center of the page, and then let me add width 50% and add margin top 5 and add border bar. It will make it 0, so it will remove the down border. Then let me make it rounded, and finally I will make a shadow and it will be large LG. Then I will make two divisions, one for the email input and another one for the password input, and I will use a grid to specify the columns for each one of them. So division, but before we make the division I have to make form tag. Then inside the division I will give it a class equal to form row, and inside this division I will make another one and give it a class equal to form group, and then specify the number of columns. So I will make it column, and for medium screens I will make it 6 columns. So when the page starts to be medium, the elements will display vertically, but now I will display the email input and the password input in the same line. So when the page starts to be medium, the two inputs will be displayed vertically. Then let me make a label for this input, so it will be for email. Let me give it a class equal to margin top 2. So let me type something like just identify it. So it will be email, and then let me make the input, and the type is email, and then give a class equal to form control, which is a built-in class. Maybe the classes are so much, but just those classes will organize the layout for the element. So let me give it an ID equal to email, and let me make the same division for the password. And finally let me make the button, so button, and I will give it a class equal to btn to define it as a button. so it will take a good looking style, and then give it a color. So I will make it primary, which is something like blue but light blue, and let me give it margin bottom and make it 2, and id equal to button, and then log in. So let me save and see. So here is the form. So because the screen now is medium, so the two inputs displayed vertically, but if we make full screen, it will display horizontally, and so responsive, as you see now. So once the screen is big screen, they will display horizontally, but when it start to be medium, it will display vertically. So here is the two divisions for the valid and the red one for the invalid. So now just remain disappear the two divisions, and it will be appeared using JavaScript. So here within the style, I will add a style for the alert. Most of them has an alert class, which is this class alert. We can give the element more than one class. So let we display none. Nice. So now HTML is over. Feel free to use CSS or just pure HTML. It's a JavaScript course, but I just wanna make it kinda great looking. So feel free to make it in your way. But before we end, let me just show you how you can get those classes. So let me start with alert. So here in bootstrap.com, we make it full screen. So here the components, here is the alert. You can just grab the code from here and choose the color you want, and then here is the button. You can select any button you want, and for the border and the padding and margin, you can find it here. So here is the border, and here are the colors. Just grab the code and paste it in your page. And here is the shadow. We use this shadow large, so it's like this. So it's up to you. Use CSS or Bootstrap. Let we now move to JavaScript. So the conclusion of JavaScript code will be two variables to get the value of the password and email, function to check if the email is in the right form or not, and we will Google for this, and another function for the button. Once this button is clicked, what will happen? Then we will have 6 conditions. So stop wasting time and let me get started. So I will start with define a variable get email and document dot get element by id, and the id for email is email dot value, and then if we copy this and make another one for the password, but it will be get password, and the ID will be password. Now let me Google for the function which will check if the email is in the right form or not. JavaScript check email is valid. So here, Stack Overflow, it's a common website which provide any solution for any problem in JavaScript and other programming languages. So let me check. So here is the function. Let me just copy and then paste it here. And just all what we will do later is just call this function. Then we will have 6 conditions to check if the email and the password have been inserted, or one of them has inserted, or none has inserted. So let we start with if, and the condition will be if the get password is equal to none. If it's empty, the user didn't insert the password, and the get email didn't insert too. So if the password and the email haven't inserted, in this case I want to firstly write that the user has to insert the email and the password and display the invalid division, and finally disappear the valid division. So document dot get element by id, and let we type something inside the alert, but the alert wrong because this is a wrong or warning message. So dot inner html will be equal to, let me type, please enter the email and password, and then let we display the division because it's appeared now, so we have to appear it again. So the style, and change from display none to be display block, and then because the two alerts have the same class, and we change the display to be none using the class, so we have to appear the wrong message and disappear the valid message. So if you wanna avoid this, you can just use the valid ID and invalid ID. So all what you have to do here is just appear the message that you want to appear, but it's okay. The second one, so I want to disappear the valid, yeah, here this is invalid, not wrong, invalid, and dot style dot display will equal to none. So let we save and try. So if we then insert the email and the password, nothing happened. And here there is a red line. Yeah, here equal. Why we click the button and expect something to be happen? We forgot to make a function for the button. So the condition will be inside this function for the button. So document dot get element by ID, and the ID button dot on click equal to a function, and then inside this function will be the conditions. But here there is a parenthesis, and also inside this function let we copy the variables and make it within the function. And let we remove it from here. So let me save and try. But still there is something wrong. I think the wrong will be with the variables done by ID. Yeah, here value should be lowercase letter. So let me save. So it's working now, but disappear, and I will tell you how we can fix this at the end. So let me continue. So this is the first condition. Let we make the second one, else if the get email not inserted. So in this case I will do the same thing, but just we will change the text. So just the text will be please enter the email, and also else if get password not inserted. Just the text will be changed from email to password. Then let us check if the email in the right form or not. So else if I will use the same thing, but I will just call the function which is validate email, and this email will be the get mail variable if this function is equal to false, and also if the password hasn't inserted, so get password equal none. So in this case please enter valid email, and also enter enter the password. Let me copy this condition. So if only the email in the wrong form and the password has been inserted, just please enter valid email and remove the password. And then if the password only hasn't been inserted, so in this case, please enter your password. But else, if none of those conditions is true, so else, let me copy this. So in this case, the valid email will contain you have been logged in successfully. And also here display block for the valid email and none for the invalid. So those are all conditions. So let me save now and try. So if we did insert the email and password, and if we just insert the email in the right form and then insert the password, please enter your password. And if we just insert the password, please enter your email. And if we just insert anything like this and didn't insert the password, please enter the password. And already the element didn't allow us to insert anything. So if we insert anything and insert the password, so I think this condition is useless because the HTML element not allow us to insert an invalid email. So let me remove it and let me save. So it's by default, if we insert anything, it's not allowed. So if we insert the password, please enter a valid email, and the email should be like this in this form. You have been logged in successfully. But now let we solve the disappearance problem. So because we use button, so the message appear and then disappear again. So to solve it, let we make the button using input and the same thing like before, but here just the value will equal login and then close, and we don't need this button. And the type of the input will be button. So let me save and try. So if we insert it correctly, you have been logged in successfully. So before we end, let me review the code. So we grabbed a function to check if the email is in the right form or not, and then make the function for the bot and define two variables, one to get the value of the email and another one to get the value for the password. Then we have six conditions or six cases. Check if the password and the email haven't inserted. In this case, send a message in the invalid div and appear the invalid div and disappear the valid div. Then check if the email hasn't inserted. Do the same thing but change the message. And if the password hasn't inserted, do the same thing but change the message. And check if the email is valid or not. So just call the function validate email, and this function has a parameter which is the variable which equal to the value of the email input. If this validate email is false, in this case, just the difference is changing the message. It will please enter a valid email, and else. So else we will display the valid email and write that the user has been logged in successfully. But here there is an additional condition. So it's just 5 cases. Maybe it's long, but it's easy. So like every time, try to do this by yourself and try to figure another way to do this example. But if you like this way, just do it. The most important thing is practicing. So good luck with that and see you.